November 2023. Peace in your heart, peace on the planet. Be blessed, dear souls embodied on the earth. During this month of November 2023, violence has reached a peak on your planet, especially in the Middle East. Some of you can find it hard to understand why such events can still happen, while some others can feel discouraged, helpless, sad, worried, and even traumatized when facing such a level of cruelty. Why are there always wars? This question is so frequent that it has become like a leitmotif. It is essential for all of you to remain well-centered in your heart. And to do so, it is necessary that the people who are deprived of their complete discernment, because still naive, fully understand the true reality of the second and third dimensions of the earth. Once informed, they can cut off themselves immediately from the negative egregore. Let's sum up the situation. The global elite seeks to rule your planet at all costs, and this elite has sworn allegiance to the satanic fake source. For this elite completely disconnected to their heart, and so devoid of any kindness towards people, the only goal consists in enforcing an evil agenda aiming at personal enrichment by alienating mankind. The methods are always the same: creating a climate of fear, divide and rule, manipulating people by giving them paradoxical orders and by inverting Christ values. Therefore, when a war breaks out, it weakens the different populations and it distracts their attention, and in the meanwhile, it makes it easier for them to vote new laws restricting liberties and dangerous to mankind. Let's get back to the last years of the history of the earth. Many Russian and Ukrainian families are in mourning since the beginning of the conflict between Ukraine and Russia that started nearly 2 years ago. But on the field, Russians and Ukrainians have always considered themselves as brothers. There is no animosity between these two peoples, who are united by the bonds of a brotherly love, solidarity, and peace of the hearts. Originally, these two populations share a common culture and never wished the slightest conflict, even less a deadly war. Remember that the actual Ukrainian population, that was part of the ex-USSR, is included into the Russian population. That's why these only ones who stir up these destroying fights are corrupted leaders who are bound to the dark forces. And you may answer to me, how come that these leaders have been elected? The answer is that this corrupted elite manipulates their populations on a daily basis, and they succeed into influencing a weakened population by making them think what they should think and ultimately making them vote for the so-called right person. For example, the corrupted media produce psychological shocks by using fake news illustrated by fake photos, thus lowering the global vibration. Moral values, especially Christ values, are inverted and or taught by the wrong teachers. Nanoparticles of all kinds, including graphene, are used and absorbed into the water or food, which are deliberately contaminated or sprayed in the atmosphere by using chemtrails, or even integrated in the human bodies by harmful chemical substances like medicine or genetical therapy. Many waves are running all over the planet, and they disturb natural magnetism, which contributes powerfully to the harmony of the human health. You can find these waves in the microwaves, whose danger is hidden, up to the 5G waves, which connect themselves to the nanoparticles inside the body, thus revealing what you do, where you go. Without judging them, the mistake made by the manipulated people originates from a lack of discernment. They become blind and let themselves be misled and trapped into false beliefs and unhealthy and ill-founding opinions. A population less weakened, less disconnected to moral values, less stimulated towards material pleasures, and so more in alignment with the divine laws, would have more discernment. And yet, everyone is responsible for his, her own thoughts, words, and deeds. Russia is one of the nations chosen by heaven to make the advent of the new world of the fifth dimension possible in the mid-term. Indeed, Russian people has known suffering during so long times. In particular, the Russian population has been deprived of the liberty to think and to act. They have even seen the Christians being ill-treated during the hours of glory of communism, which is, by the way, an ideology conceived by the same Satanist elite. All these trials have strengthened the Russian nation and raised their vibration while they remained faithful to the noble Christ values. These trials have also stirred them to cultivate courage and perseverance in their work with tremendous progress, which are useful and positive for mankind, especially in the fields of health, physics, and aeronautics. They also show a beautiful and rich sensitivity which conveys some sadness, it is true, but which also brought fame to great writers, artists, and musicians. We already mentioned this last September. Every day, the number of light workers who are awakened and who have taken their stand towards the service of the divine plan keeps on growing. And this vibratory rays of mankind thwarts the dark forces' plan, and they will be soon defeated, especially in the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, which has been planned. In order to maintain and even to stir up the fire of violence, the conflict between Israel and Palestine has been suddenly reactivated. And again, the leaders bound to the dark forces create an enemy so they can be legitimate to attack this enemy in return in order to defend themselves, so they say. And yet, as you know, and or can feel, the Palestinians and the Jews live together in peace, just like in Ukraine and Russia. They can sing together like brothers. They share some activities and meet themselves in the framework of beautiful exchanges as friends or at a professional level and family level. Yes, for them, there is no problem. Except for a few Jewish people who are locked up in an ideology, there are beautiful families mixing Jews and Palestinians where the heart rules and prevails over the mind. Some children are born from these harmonious unions. Some Palestinian and Israeli women and mothers, whatever their religion, are united in their divine feminine, and they walk side to side, hand in hand, singing together in order to settle the vibration of peace on their land. This march started some years ago. Shalom, salam. May these Hebraic and Arabic words meaning peace come out from bright and open hearts and spread throughout the Middle East and be spread in turn all over the planet by all the human beings. In reality, if all the peoples could express their opinion freely, no one would want a war. On the contrary, most of the human beings, whatever their ethnic origin, would be happy to live next to the others in the framework of a complementarity that would benefit everyone. That's why chaos is imposed by only a handful of human beings and leaders. And yet, make no mistake, this chaos is made possible only because of the still too low vibration of mankind, even if it has raised. And this explains why some absurdities of this kind can still happen. Indeed, even if their intentions are right, there are still too many thoughts, words, and deeds which are not in alignment with the divine in the daily life of the human beings. In this end of the year 2023, I invite you to work on your discernment, on your active stand towards the service of God, and I invite you to definitely establish peace in your heart. You may ask me, how can we make out the leaders who act for the good of mankind? And my answer is, their actions serve mankind. That's as simple as that. Serving mankind means respecting and honoring the living created by God and implementing laws that perpetuate Christ's values. The leaders serving mankind, even if they are not perfect, are very few and are precisely the ones who are criticized and demonized by the elite via the media in order to make you feel confused. And on the contrary, those who are praised by the media are the ones enslaving the society by perverted laws serving the fake source. Your own discernment sharpens and grows ineluctably as soon as you release yourself from false beliefs and as soon as your mind let go thanks to pure and sincere prayers, meditation, which makes you feel well-centered in your heart, and thanks to all the healings care you receive in order to heal from the wounds of your soul. I encourage you to work steadily in order to heal yourself so that you can raise your vibration, feeling grateful towards your perseverance. Intensify your stand towards the divine plan so that you can be propelled ahead on your path by the divine force that comes down on the deserving beings who are good-willing and whose thoughts, words, and deeds are aligned. As soon as you completely stand for the divine plan, boycott all the things that are not in accordance with Christ's values. Your attitude in allegiance to God, associated to the attitude of all the other light workers who are committed and positioned at the service of God, will spread, and you will attract more and more people, members of the police and of the army, who have chosen this profession by solemnly swearing to protect the people. Some doctors who have taken the Hippocratic oath primum non nocere. Some scientists, journalists, teachers, until reaching the shift. Yes, indeed, there is nothing impossible for a united people showered by the divine force. All united means the victory of light, and the dark forces know that well. Last January, I told you that this year 2023 would see horror or beauty. Horror is the Third World War, which is planned and wished for by the elite of your planet. Beauty is when you resolve all the conflicts and notes that still exist within you or between you and the others. Beauty is the majority of the human beings of the earth who make some changes, awake, and who ground the seeds of peace within them and around them by transmuting their inner anger. Beauty is the victory of peace, of light. Beauty will be, and change will come thanks to the base. Peoples who are united, showing solidarity, and who have taken their stand. Be blessed, dear souls embodied on the earth. Be blessed for your open heart and consciousness. Be blessed, dear beings. You are much helped and loved. I am Christ Al Shaya.